We are back on the
Welcome
Cavalry.
to the Cavalry.
Hey everybody, episode number 2 of 2021. And it's a busy day in America. We are recording this on the day of the storming of the Capitol, but we have a great guest to kind of chill everybody out, calm everybody down.
To balance it out.
Yeah, bring some reason, bring some calmness to the hilarious calmness. Have you ever been described that way, Tyler?
No pressure.
Hilarious calmness. Anyway, Tyler Boeh, very funny comedian. Thanks for coming, Tyler.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, that was no pressure expectation on the.
Just calm everyone down that's upset about the storming of the Capitol. That's
actually
all
we don't. Again, this could be by the time this gets released, probably like 5 to 6 worst things that have happened in the country. So
yeah, we'll talk about those next week.
People will be like, "What are they worried about that for?" The freaking
that was quaint.
Yeah, but yeah. How you doing, Tyler? How you hanging in there? Tyler, very funny comic, lives in Portland just like I do. Has 2 kids. Great. You kind of like are ahead of me on the whole Portland thing because you moved from LA to Portland just like I did, but like a few years earlier.
Yeah, we've been kind of chasing each other on the country because we were both in Boston.
That's right. Yeah.
For a time, and then we both moved to LA, and then we both moved to Portland. So,
what year did each of you move from LA to Portland?
In 2016 for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was 2019 for me, so 2 years ago now. But I, which is crazy to say out loud, but the only difference, me and Tyler are basically the same. The only difference is I'm a better beatboxer. That's the only.
Is that right?
That's the only. We're not going to do it now to demonstrate. Just trust me, and don't go on YouTube to try and prove it. But trust me that I'm a better beatboxer than Tyler is. No, but anyway, thanks for being on, Tyler. And you know what the show is, right? I explained to you. Me and Johnny, we come to each other for backup. Anything in life that we need backup on. What do you have anything for us? Do you have anything that you need backup from the Cavalry on?
Well, in light of today's events, would either of you guys or both of you be interested in fighting the government with me?
Oh.
No, not at all.
Andrew, I don't know if you prepped him properly. It's a little lighter.
Yeah, no. I just because you brought it up.
School board.
Yeah, the school board. I think I could take. Let's storm the PTA.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about those, like, because there were so many like clips and people are tweeting videos, like, and I was just consuming it all day. But the best part was when they stormed the Capitol, and then there's these, big scary people like pushing past the police, whatever. And then they get in there, and there's these red velvet ropes set up in like the rotunda, and they were staying within the ropes. I don't know if you saw that one. It's like the velvet rope has more authority than the entire federal government. The whole federal government should be made out of velvet ropes, is my take.
Yeah, you can't just go moving those things.
Yeah, you get in trouble,
Yeah, there's a real blowback if you move.
It's like, I'm sure you guys have encountered this when you, like at the airport, maybe it's like 6 a.m, you take that red-eye flight and you go to the rental car kiosk, and it's like all the ropes, the stanchions or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
It's like, do you walk your way through them? Or do you just go straight to the front if there's no one there?
Even if there's no one there and I have a bunch of luggage, I do it because I don't want to bend down, have a bag get caught on them, pull them all down on top of me. But if it's just me, I'll go under.
I have anxiety about actually, because the ones with like the pulley cord and the clip.
Yeah.
I have anxiety about knowing for a fact that I can get that clip back in, because when you've got it pulled with tension, sometimes it's hard to get it. So I never unclip it, because I've done that before where I literally unclip it and go past and try to smoothly clip it back. And then it never clips back and it zips all the way back and knocks over the other one. So no, I usually either go through it or try to if I can walk around it, I'll walk around it. But yeah. But when I storm Capitol buildings,
always keep it orderly.
Yeah, you
keep
got
it orderly.
Single file.
Single file. It's very important. And I make sure I have my Confederate flag at the correct height when going into the building. So anyway, but yeah, so you want to fight the government, Tyler? That's the mood you're in?
No, not at all.
Did you have a second topic?
Yeah,
something about dishes, maybe. I don't know.
Here's my thing. I think you should be able to do vigilante yard work.
Oh,
I like it.
This is gonna bring out a lot of aspects of my personality here. I live in a neighborhood in Northeast Portland. We have a dog. We take the dog for a walk every day. So we're through the neighborhood. I have a lot of neighbors that their yards are just out of control, and some of them I don't know. Like there's a house that's like, I think it's an old lady, like like a 90-year-old woman, and her grass is like, it's 3 feet high and the bushes are overgrown, and like so. Part of me is like, there's like the OCD part of me that's just like, it just bothers me that people just let their yards go crazy. And then there's like the kind, like helpful side of me that's like, maybe this lady can't get out of her house. Maybe she doesn't have a lawnmower. Maybe I could be the neighbor who's like, oh, let me come take care of your yard for you. But then there's other people who I'm sure just like some lazy dude who like doesn't care. But it bugs me. And I want to just like, under the cover of night, just go over there with my Honda, cut the grass, trim the bushes, and just be like, bro, you're dragging the neighborhood down. Let me help you out. If you're not going to do it, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, under the cover of night. Do you have an electric mower, or is it the loud?
I've got a silencer on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would back you up. I think I'm going to back you up because I agree. Like, well, first of all, it is a fine line between like doing a good deed and being passive aggressive. I've never actually considered. You called it vigilante yard work, which is hilarious. But there was like a guy on Instagram a long time ago. He was just going around the country mowing people's lawns who needed their lawns, and I always just assumed he was doing a good deed. But maybe you're right. Maybe he was just like OCD about it, and he's like, if he ever gets to your house, you waited too long. He's just trying to send you a message.
I've thought about this so much. It's crazy. Like, I always feel like if somebody confronted me, I would just be like, oh, like we're doing like a neighborhood beautification program. If they're like, get out of my yard. I'm like, that guy over there, Doug, he paid me. He paid me to come cut
Doug under the bus.
Yeah, I'll just make something up. I'll lie.
Yeah.
I'm not above it. But I don't know why.
Pointing to no one. Oh, that guy over there, Doug.
Yeah,
there's no one over there. Oh, he must have left.
Yeah. But I think about this daily on my walk.
Yeah, that's funny.
There's selfish reasons too. Like if you've got 200 weeds in your yard, the little floaty wishy things, the wind's gonna kick up. Where are those weeds coming? They're coming into my grass.
That's a good
point. And I have a beautiful lawn. You know why? Pride and ownership. Because I aerate, I fertilize, I overseed, I put down the top coat. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, there's some jurisdiction in the law where if you can prove that the weeds are coming from another, you can take over their lawn and take appropriate action.
Well, I think it's a lot easier to prove where the fallen leaves from a tree came from. And I don't know if you backed me up on that. One of my topics, Tyler, was if your neighbor has a tree and all their leaves go into my yard, shouldn't it be their responsibility to pick them up or to rake them up? And I don't know, Andrew. I don't recall.
You know the difference? Let me tell you,
backyard.
Tyler,
it was the backyard.
I want you to weigh in, but before you do, I just want to defend myself, and I'll tell you the difference right now. Your action requires work on the neighbor's behalf. They have to take active action and rake the leaves in your yard. They have to get out of their house, go over to your yard and rake. What Tyler's asking for is just for you to, if I'm the neighbor with the bad lawn, just for me to set my pride aside enough to allow Tyler to do the work, okay, and come over and do my yard. I mean, that's a way smaller ask, in my opinion.
It's true. It's true.
Than
It's true.
forcibly, like requiring me to do the work. If I'm in this scenario, I happen to be the lazy neighbor. I'm not saying that's how it is in real life, but I'm just saying in this hypothetical, I'm the lazy neighbor. But yeah, Tyler, what do you think? Leaves over the fence, whose job?
See, here's the thing: is my neighbor wouldn't have a chance because I would have already raked him up because that's how
the perfect neighbor.
Because you would feel bad.
Uh,
You would rake yours out of your own.
No,
lawn,
not
out
because
of
he
your
would
own
feel
lawn.
bad, because he's got OCD.
Right. I thought you meant like you would rake your leaves out of their yard, but you're saying you would have raked their leaves out of your yard because it would bother you.
And I'm not saying like that there are people that legitimately have OCD. I just have a extreme compulsion to want to do things.
Isn't that OCD?
Maybe, I'm not sure. But no, I do have a neighbor who has a pine tree, a huge pine tree in their yard, and it rains down these little pine cones on a daily basis that, like, my gutter on the south side is clogged like every 2 or 3 days. And so I'm out there scraping pine cones out of there. But, it's just something you got to do. But I don't know. The yard work thing, it's crazy because I feel like, I don't know if it makes me OCD, but I feel like there's a couple people. There's people that wouldn't be able to do their own yard. There's maybe the person's renting. Maybe they got a crummy landlord. Maybe I'm doing them a favor. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got like maybe a 2/3 chance of being a nice guy. And
Yeah, but you'd also be setting a very dangerous precedent for yourself.
Yeah.
You do it once, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, cool! Oh, that guy, that neighbor does it." Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're renting, because then if I were renting and then you came over and did my yard one day, I'd be like, finally, this landlord got me a yard guy, and I'd just be like, "Where's he been? It's been 2 weeks."
Yeah.
I'm gonna back you up. If you want to do somebody else, if someone, I'm trying to think, because I have Johnny and I, we have houses. If someone came over and did my yard, I would probably get a little offended. But
I don't know if I'd be as offended as much as embarrassed.
Yeah, it would be a combination of both of those things. But I also think like I keep the yard like nice enough to where it would be like because it's all by degree. Like if I just actively let the yard go and someone did it, I probably wouldn't care, because I'm like, well, if you want to do it, fine. I don't give a shit about the yard, But when you actually try and then someone still comes and helps you out, that's pretty embarrassing.
I know that I'm in no danger of that happening to me because I have let it go and nobody snuck into my yard in the night with their Honda.
You should bait Tyler. Just send Tyler pics of your yard and discount fares to fly to Madison.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. No. I think I'm with you.
I'll back
Tyler.
You up. I mean, it's on you. It's you're doing the work. Yeah.
I'm surprised you find so many yards out of control here in Portland, because I'm kind of like impressed by the yard care in Portland when I walk around, especially coming from like LA or Boston. It definitely seems like there's a little more pride here than a lot of places.
Well, maybe you live in a nicer neighborhood than I do.
I don't think that's true.
Well, what if he mowed their lawn and then he found out that it was a protected sanctuary with one of those signs that you were talking about, and they're like, "Oh my God, where are all the frogs gonna live?"
Yeah, the frogs.
I just committed a crime against nature.
Right. The natural, that's the habitat in here in Portland are frogs.
Frogs in yard.
Where'd my salamanders go? Where are my boa constrictors? They're naturally
we live
occurring.
Across the street from our little park. And I did see wild bunnies the other day.
There you go. See, if you mow that lawn, that could be a bunny habitat.
That's right.
But Tyler, you know what he's talking about, right? I try to do this bit about like whatever natural certified backyard habitats. But then I kind of thought, I just kind of assumed those must be everywhere, but I don't think they are. I think that's specifically a Portland thing. The more I do the joke, the more I realize.
Yeah, I've seen those. They get the little ladybug sign. It says like certified.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Is yours certified? You sound like, yours can't be because you're too much of a lawn guy. They're not going to give you that with a lawn.
My yard's
That's like
too
frowned upon.
It's too unnatural.
Yeah. All that overseeding. You're never going to get it. You got to let some dandelions grow, bro. If you want to get certified, you got to let a little nature take over.
That'd be funny if when I let my yard go, if I just came home one day and there was a sign there, someone like certified it while I was gone. I just haven't mowed. What's going on?
The ultimate passive aggressive move.
I was going to say, maybe that's the move. You don't, before I do the yard work, I just plant the sign in there and then go, this isn't what I was trying to do.
That's what you could do. You could pretend you're from the city and just be like, oh yeah, the city sent me to clean this shithole up. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a job. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah,
back to
yell at Doug at the city.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, man, I think we're with you. I don't know.
I think so.
I would be. Let me put it this way: if you did it to my house, I'd be a little like, "What the fuck? Why does this guy?" But I think that's because I try. If I didn't try at all, I wouldn't care. So there you go. And if I was a 90-year-old lady, then it's just that's just considered to be a good deed, like shoveling somebody's walk for them. I've thought about that before because I have a neighbor. He's not like, he's a older guy. He's like retired, but he's not old. He's not like in a retirement home or something. He's very active. He's in good shape. But I've thought about that because I'm mowing the parking strip sometimes, and then I'm like, I could just keep going. It would be very easy for me to just keep going. He's got very little grass, and but I never do it because I am kind of afraid that I would
offend
him.
Let me ask you guys this: do you talk to your neighbors? Are you like? I know you've got that great bit, Andrew, about your neighbor voice. You're talking to your neighbor.
Yeah.
Do you guys like? Because Miranda makes fun of me. She's like, oh, because when we do walks, like if she's home when we all take a walk as a family, like I'll be, oh, hey, Kale down the street, and hey, Asa, and she's like, how are you that guy? Like, you know everybody? And because I made a point. I talk to the neighbors.
Yeah, you're friendly.
Yeah. Well, we live in a cul-de-sac, and I'm friendly and know 4 of the 5.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
I never knew, when I lived in LA and stuff, I never knew any. I mean, we lived in a kind of a apartment complex, like bungalow style. I never knew any of those, and Heidi would make fun of me the opposite way that Miranda makes fun of you. She'd be like, how do you not know these people? Like, how much are you avoiding everyone that you don't know? You see these people every day. Why do you not learn their names? And if for some reason it just would always, and the same thing was happening here until the pandemic. And now, like, I feel like I know because I'm home a lot more, so I know everybody. But then also in this neighborhood, there's a rock solid email chain. I mean, that thing is active, like just neighbors, like it's going, they're sending emails like every other day. There's like updates on police activity or, events or, pandemic research. There's like stuff going on in that email chain. So you get to know names really quickly that way. Yeah. So,
do you feel backed up? Do you feel supported?
Are you getting support here, Tyler? That's our goal, is for you to feel supported.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I appreciate it.
I mean, even if you weren't, it wouldn't matter. We'd move on.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Good that you said that, though.
I yield my time.
Yield your time to this great senator from the state of Wisconsin, Johnny.
All right, I could go. I got one that has come up. So, all right. So here's my topic. Do you have friends? I don't know. I don't appreciate it when I'm not the guy that says "love ya" to my friends. And when you got the friend that drops it, I'm not talking to your best friend you talk to all the time. I'm talking to, your friend, whatever. And they're like, all right, yeah, okay, love ya. Because then you're held hostage. It's like, well, okay, now I got to, how long it took me to tell my wife I love you? and I got to say it to you getting off the
Right.
phone because you said it to me. I just think that's you gotta know who you're talking to. It's not that I don't love that. I love my friends, but telling them you can't force it. You can't force it out of me just because you're the type of person that's like, love you, man. You know,
Yeah.
where do you
I
stand on that?
Okay, I'll go. I was having a bunch of thoughts while you were saying that. One, I was thinking about it myself, and I was like, how many friends would tell me that they love me? I think it's one. I think maybe one, but that's like a lifelong friendship. So it's like, okay. But then the other thing I was thinking was, do they? It's like, to me, it's worth. Do they text it or do they say it on the phone?
It's okay. Let's say you're doing a gig with a friend. It's a friend that you only know through comedy. You've worked with a
Oh my
bunch,
god, yeah.
whatever. Okay, all right. You're both leaving the gig. All right, see ya. Yeah, hey. Hopefully we bump into each other. Okay, love ya.
Yeah, no, no,
What?
no, 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 no.
That
What?
that sounds like an LA some of that kind of like Hollywood vibe, like the kiss on the cheek, love you, babe.
Yeah.
But
Is it that vibe, or is it, or do you think that
This
they
was
actually
this
think you have an emotional bond now?
this particular one was not in L.A. This was Midwest random gig. We haven't worked together in a long time.
so you
We've
know
known
it's
each
true
other a
love.
while. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, like I said, I said it back, but after I said it back, I was like, that's not fair. She got something that's I don't give out, and she pulled it out of me.
Yeah. Some people do that. You're right. It's, and then the other thing about it is, I will back you up, because it's not that you guys developed this bond that just was
Right.
so epic.
It's a
that
personality
person,
thing.
no, it's just they say they love you to everybody. And so it's like, now do I love that? I don't love you.
But that's what I'm talking
No?
about.
Right.
That's exactly correct. But I'm not that person, and you're assuming, you know.
And
It's
it
the
puts
same
the
with
burden.
it's
Puts
kind
the
of like
burden
hugs.
on you to say it, because if you don't say it, that's an even stronger, I would argue it's a stronger act to not say love you back when someone says I love
Exactly.
you than it is to just say it and pretend that
To
you didn't
emptily say it.
Yeah. That's an
Yeah.
easier out
I
than
was
to just
gonna
stand your
say
ground.
there's a couple of lower level comebacks where you can be like back at you,
That's true.
Oh yeah,
or
there's a
you
way
could
out.
say you too. But
Yeah.
it
That's
sounds to
true.
me like maybe this person like they said it because they needed to hear it.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're like, maybe if I tell Johnny this, then I'll get to hear it and it'll make me feel good. That said, I do have I do have friends that we exchange those kind of affectionate, like, hey, I love you, man. Talk to you later. Like, but there's sort of so I got my buddy Keith. I don't know if you know Keith Nelson. I've been friends with
Yeah,
this.
I know. I worked with him like once, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends, best comedy friends. I talked to him. Uh, I feel like I had tiers of friends, right? You have like your sort of like associates, or what am I thinking of? Not associates isn't the word. That sounds too official. Acquaintances.
Acquaintance.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acquaintances.
Associates. I like associates.
Yeah.
Makes you sound like a criminal.
Colleague.
Yeah, Tyler Boeh and Associates.
Yeah.
And then you
Known
have
associates.
yeah. And then you have like text level friends and then like phone call. I was thinking about this too, as like, I don't know if this was like a topic worthy of, but if you both have like the tier of like, say it's like New Year's, you have the person that you're going to text, or like the first, it's like the Facebook Happy New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the next tier of friends that's like going to get the text, hey, Happy New Year's. Hope your family's doing well. Da da da. Then you have like maybe a few people that you would actually call, and those are like the top tier people.
Yeah.
But Keith's one of these guys I talk to all the time, and he'll drop the love you all the like a lot. But I'm like, you can't, not every call.
Right.
Oh, not every call?
We got to space
I
it
feel
out.
like if you do it on one call, you got to do them on them all, or else it's like, well, wait, you don't love me anymore? What happened?
Yeah, then he calls me back. What's going on with the goodbye? It was a little,
Yeah, what did is it something I said or someone else?
yeah, so I got a
Is
couple
there
people,
someone
and
else?
then, yeah.
Are you friends with another comedian?
Yeah. What's his name?
That should be how it works. I think that's how we solve it. Is that in the same way, like, in our society, you're only expected to be in love with one person romantically. It should be the same way with friendship, where you can really only love one friend, and so you can't love two friends at the same time. So if you like Keith, I'm sorry, we just, you fall in love, you fall out of love. I met someone else. Yeah. I'm now in love with
Tom Simmons.
Tom Simmons.
I think
new hot young thing, Tom Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the problems though in like English is that we only have like one word for love, and it almost always means that like romantic love, and so we're sort of like it all lumps into that. Whereas like other languages, they have different words for like, paternal love, like a parent and a child love, and like romantic love and brotherly love and like friendship love. Like we only have one word, so we're just like,
yeah. It would be nice to have some other words to throw around the end of phone calls. No. I don't know. Do you guys say I love you to your parents on every phone call?
I mean, I say it to my family's. I say it to. I said it to my parents. I would say it to my brothers and sisters.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are pretty like open and not blocked emotionally. Tyler, same thing.
Yeah, for the most part. So I have a twin sister, older brother, older sister, and my folks, and we're pretty affectionate. Also, it seems like if we hang out a lot, like definitely. I mean, or like sometimes I'll see my dad like a couple times in a week, and I might not say I love you every time I see him, but if I haven't talked to him in a while or whatever, then for sure. And the same thing I've realized that too. Like my brother, like if I haven't seen him in a while, and I see him, like like I'll give him a big hug. But if I'm gonna see him like the next day and the next day, I might give him a hug every time.
Yeah, you don't want to seem desperate.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get
with your dad. Yeah, Dad, you're all right. No, it's funny.
It's kind of like sex, where it's like I won't have sex with my brothers and sisters every time, but I mean, if we haven't seen each other,
and once you start living with your brothers and sisters, you never want to have sex with them anymore.
Right?
It kind of cuts down to once a week.
Parallel lives.
I only have sex with my brothers once a week.
And we lost Tyler.
I can't back you up on this. Step, bro.
What's funny is I have sex with my brothers, but we never have said I love you to each other. I think
it's too awkward.
No, it's like
it's more of a physical thing.
Yeah.
They
need a word for that.
What's that in Pretty Woman where she like won't kiss him on the lips because it's like
it's that whatever that is. That's exactly what it is. Holy Lord. Well, I think we're with you there, Johnny.
Yeah, I feel we're all on the same.
We're on the same page. Okay. Yeah. I'll go. I have one. So I don't know. You guys like, especially during the pandemic, a lot of TV with the spouse. You're watching every show together. It feels like me and my wife. And here's what I need backup on. Like the show to me, the show is the interesting thing, like in the scripted show, but that is never what interests her. Like it's always, she'll like, because we were watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like the original one, right? I was like, I haven't seen this in like forever, and it was on TV, so I was like, let's watch this, it'll be great. And she's writing a script, and she's like, oh yeah, it'd be good research or whatever. So then immediately I'm like, she's on her phone, and I knew what she was looking at on her phone. It wasn't like, some weird Twitter. She's looking up the actors in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to see like what they ended up doing in their life or who they're dating or that is always, and it's always more interesting to her to like what the real life actors are doing. And to me, it's like, I couldn't care less
Oh
what the
yeah.
act, like, look what they're doing now. This kid is about to inherit an entire chocolate factory. That is very interesting in itself. But she's like, no, where did he go to high school? That is the more interesting thing. So to me, it's like, I don't.
Still alive. We gotta
Right.
know.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. And that's the thing when you watch old movies too, it's more depressing to look them up because they're all dead. Just everybody's dead. But so it's like, and it could be any movie, and it's like really interesting movies, but it's always, I'll look over and she's like Googling where that person, who they're dating or whatever. And it's just, I don't care. I like movies, but I just don't care about like the celebrity lives at all. And for her, I think she obviously does.
Yeah, I don't care about their personal lives or what's going on or the reality drama of the actors, but I will get scolded by my wife because sometimes I'll pull out my phone and look up the movie we're watching to see what else they have been in. I know them from
Oh
someone. Should be like,
yeah.
why? Who cares? Just watch the movie. But it's different because it's like I want to know
Yeah,
either
it's
where I
close
saw them
though.
from or
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
did anything else. But I don't care if they're married, divorced, in a scandal.
I feel like that's in the same. I feel like me and I need Erin here. I think she would
Oh
be a
boy.
better backup for this. But
I, I, I'm with you on enjoy the movie. To Johnny's point, since we got the young kids, we watch a lot of animated movies, and I am incredibly good at voices. Like,
Uh-huh.
so we'll start a movie, and I'll be like, I'll be like, that's Zoe Deschanel, and Miranda will be like, how do you know that? I'm like, because it is. And then she'll be on the IMDb looking up who's the bunny, who's the fox, or whatever the
Yeah.
characters are. So that disrupts a lot of our movies when we watch with the kids because it's all animated and I'm trying to guess who the voices are. And
yeah, but see, that's so funny because that's definitely a thing. I've had that with animated movies where you're having this thing. It's hard to even concentrate on the movie because the whole time you're like, who is that
Yeah.
elephant? God damn it. I know who that elephant is. I've heard that elephant a million. And it's always like, Bill Pullman or somebody like some level actor like that. And then, but you're by looking it up, you're robbing yourself of that moment when the credits roll. Because that used to be when I would do that, I would wonder the whole time. And then when the credits roll, you're like, that's who it was.
But then it's like an itch you can't scratch, and it takes away because you
True.
you can't focus on the plot until you put that away and know the answer, right?
Yeah, I definitely rack my brain for a while before I go. I don't want to go straight to Google or straight to IMDb because I want to figure it out.
Yeah.
Someone had a great
Keep the mind sharp.
Yes.
Tune the instrument. Do you ever just test yourself? Do you ever watch like old animated movies and see how many you can get?
I was gonna say someone had a great bit though about was it about you used to just like not know stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen. I don't know if maybe we're thinking about the same person, but yeah.
You
Maybe
made it weird. What's his name?
Oh, Pete Holmes.
Yeah, he's got a
that?
bit
He
about
has
Tom
one?
Petty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be like, where was Tom Petty born?
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
if you were hanging out with your friends and then you would just like be like, oh, I don't know, and then you would just not know for like
Right. Yeah.
ever.
So the
Now you can
credits
find
roll.
everything out.
Man.
We're past those days.
Yeah.
Are you
I
ever
know, you don't-
wrong? Are you ever wrong? Are you ever like sure and then you see it and you're like, it wasn't Zoe Deschanel.
I'm I'm sure I've been wrong, but I'm like, dude, if there was a game show, I'm not a betting man, but I'd bet on myself. I'm pretty damn good with the voices. It's
Name
like
that celebrity voice actor.
I got it.
That will be a game show for sure. That's actually a great idea.
It's like the Masked Singer, but just with Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. I used to go to one of those when you lived in LA, did you ever do those like it's lower, it's a lower rung on the ladder than extra work. It's like paid audience work. I don't know. I used to do that where they would pay you to just sit in a studio audience. It'd be like $18 for the day. And you'd watch like the voice, not the voice. That's too good of a show. It'd be some show where they couldn't get an audience. Like they can't. No one's heard of
What
the
if I
show yet.
told you I could cook a well-done steak in 1 minute and 46 seconds?
Right, and you had to like applaud wildly for this thing and host that no one's ever heard of. But there was one that I did. It was the Singing Bee, and it was like a karaoke style show. Whatever. It was. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but it just reminded me because you said game show, and I used to go, hey, I used to say to everybody in the audience, like, hey, we're all of us are just making $18, right? We're not going to get rich off of this. We're barely covering gas money. I'll bet let's all put in a pool, right? Let's just everyone put in their salary and we'll bet on the winner. And I could never get anybody to take me up. Nobody would. Everybody wanted their $18 so bad.
That's hilarious.
Couldn't risk it.
They see you guys are thinking small. That's why you'll never be a podcast host. Anyway. Tyler, do you have another area you need? Wait, Johnny, do you feel? Did we? Or wait, whose turn is it?
That was
It was your turn.
That was mine. I don't feel backed up at all. Okay,
Clearly.
Tyler, do you have another topic that you need backup on?
Yeah, I don't know if this might come back to like a personal lack of self-confidence or but I don't think older people should use new slang. And it just it's so off-putting to me. Like I was born in like I'm 40 years old. I was born in the 80s. I used dope the first time it was around. Like when I was a kid, be like, oh, those are dope sneakers. And I can't, and it's like back in the vernacular now. It's back in slang. And
Right.
now when I hear like a 45-year-old dude be like, I have. Do you guys have like? I have one article of clothing. I have this jacket. It's kind of like a gray bomber jacket. The only article of clothing I ever get compliments on. But every time I wear it, I get a compliment on it.
Yeah, I have a shirt like that.
Yeah. So I was out the
It's
other
not this
day,
one.
and this guy's like, "Oh, that's a dope jacket." And like I received the compliment. Like I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it." But then in my head, I'm just like, "Why didn't he just say cool or I like your jacket?" He was like, "That's dope." And I'm like, "Stop."
Yeah.
Wait, how old was he?
I don't know, older than me, 50 maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Did it just come across as trying too hard, or
Yeah, and
or
that's why
just
I'm
out of
saying maybe
place?
this is like a personal thing where like I don't feel like I can use new slang. Like it's like when I do college gigs, I'm like, what if I was like, oh, this gig like low key making me nervous. I'm like, and they'll be like narc or, or
Oh
like
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
like I can't. I don't know. I just feel like if I
I hate
use
when
new slang.
I hate when really old comics use the slang as like a punchline, you know, because they're old, and so it's
Yeah,
like funny that they can even say, it's like, oh, sorry, and then it's always like the air quotes come out. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm too woke for everybody, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. That's like the
It's just
joke is that they know the word.
right. Look at
Yeah.
Grandpa and
Yeah.
learned a word. Meanwhile, there's usually those old like road comics are like the most online people ever. Like they're like super deep. There's some QAnon and conspiracy. But no. So I think it, and you know it's interesting for you, Tyler, because you're like into hip hop and stuff, and so you
Yeah.
probably are like constantly self aware of like I don't want to like use, you know what I mean, like you start using all the new slang or whatever because I want to stay, I don't know, what, authentic or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said when I prefaced it, is like I don't know if this is too much of a personal. Like I don't feel comfortable using slang because like new slang because I feel like people will be like, oh, he's trying too hard, or uh, like, oh, this dude thinks he's cool because he's sick.
You know what's sad? I'm sitting here and I was gonna make a joke like that Johnny says something, but I cannot even. What is the most current slang?
The only thing I could think was
I can't
woke
even
that
think-
you said. I can't think of
I
any.
stole the one that
I
we
know.
can think of. That's how old and stupid we are. I honestly cannot think of one current. Like, what's one beyond dope, Tyler? You know, what would be another like current slang? I honestly, I'm racking my brain. I'm like, this is sad. Maybe it's because of the pandemic. I'm just not around people anymore. But
well, there's that. But also, I think, especially in the age that we're living in, like slang it's cycling through so much faster than it was like generations ago.
Yeah.
Like a word's only going to last for like a year or so. Like yeet, or even like phrases, like yes queen or whatever. Like
Yeah. Okay, there's one. Yeah.
those
Yeet,
things.
I'm out on. I have no idea.
never heard
Yeet,
that.
I never heard it. I don't know what it does. Nope,
It's
no clue.
I think it can mean sort of a lot of things, but like if if it's almost like if you like chuck something, or like if I don't know, a dude was on a skateboard and like bailed and went flying, you'd be like yeet, or what I mean. Like it could be like get the heck out of here. That sounded like get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
What about skeet? Isn't that where you like blow your load in someone's face?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, good job, Johnny.
I'm pretty hip. I'm cool. I get it.
Johnny's on a game show. Name that slang term. That's
Define
what
it.
our game show.
Well, I have a lot of it is like because I have friends that have like kids that are older, and so they're like their kids are kind of in the age of where they're legitimately using today's slang, and my kids are so young, and so I kind of feel like maybe he picks it up from them, but I can't tell if it's that or if he's like trying to stay cool and not accepting you're not the age range that's supposed to be using that anymore,
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're right. It's one of those things like when you hear it, like something's just cringe worthy if it makes you cringe,
Yeah.
And if it makes people cringe, then you gotta. But it is interesting, like which words just survive. Like cool, like you said, cool right there. Cool has survived, has stayed appropriate. Cool is like the safe word of all slang.
Yeah.
Like it never goes away. It's probably you could have said it like 40 years ago and people knew what you're talking about, and they still know what you're talking about now. It's not like the best. It's not like the coolest slang word, but it like you can survive on cool still.
Yeah, that's so. I don't even know if that's slang. That's almost.
It's almost it's embedded. It's like
that's
rock
probably
solid.
If you looked at all my texts, that's probably the number one most used response to a text. Well, now it's replaced with the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah. That's slang quicker now, right? Like, yeah, like what's quicker, what's more, because I was going to say cool is like the safe zone, that's kind of like the power spot. It's like you're not overstepping by using cool, but you're also being somewhat casual. Like it's very, like it's not like regards or whatever. Like cool is like perfectly, like it's easy. You're not going to get in trouble with cool. But emojis have for sure replaced even that. Because the thumbs up emoji, that solves every.
Yeah.
And what's even better is now you can just like the message someone sent you.
Yeah.
That is the most genius shit of all time because you don't even have to. Because you're always trying to get out of some sort of text chain sometimes.
Yeah.
You just it happens to me too. It happens both ways. Once someone just likes one of my texts, I'm like, okay, so we're not talking again. I'm not
so
going to
you're
bother
done.
this
Okay.
person. I get what's going on. I'm not an idiot. I can read the room. I'm out of here.
Yeah. What about sweet? Is sweet still? Is that still cool?
Is sweet still dope?
Yeah, is
sweet
still dope?
Yeah, you're right. I can't say dope. I was wondering if I could say dope, and I just tried it on. I can't say it. And that's funny, too, because dope, like you said, dope is old, but it's like come back.
Yeah.
So you used to be able to say dope, can't say it anymore.
I just feel like if you used it the first time around, you probably shouldn't use it the second time around.
Oh, and that rule works for like any word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of a sneakerhead, so I'll wear a lot of sneakers. So I'll get compliments. Oh, those are fresh. I take the compliment. I'll never say what's said to me because I can't pull it off. Like if I see, if I'm at the bookstore, I see a guy, I'll be like, "Hey, I like your sneakers." That's all I could say. Hey, nice shoes. I'm not gonna be like, "Hey,
Dope
those are fresh." Yeah, dope kicks.
Fresh. Hey, fresh threads, homie.
You're never gonna be accepted in the sneaker community, Johnny.
I don't care.
like your sneakers. Hey, nice shoes.
Or when you know what's so infuriating is when you do that, you see someone they're wearing Jordans, it's like, "Hey man, nice shoes," and they say thanks, and they don't look at yours. It's like,
you're like, the only reason why I was complimenting those fucking shitty shoes is so I would get one back.
Exactly.
Don't you know sneaker etiquette?
Whatever.
Well, I think we're definitely with you there, Tyler. Do you feel supported?
I do.
Okay.
You guys are a couple of dope dudes.
We're dope. Rad.
Couple of rad dads. We got 3 rad dads on the podcast. 3 rad dads, baby.
While we're on the subject, there's also people who intentionally use bad slang.
Oh, worse. So cringeworthy. Yes, I know exactly.
Like what do you mean? What's an example?
Oh, just like, I mean, not rad, I guess, but like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. But people
like they use it for the sake of being bad to be ironic.
Yeah. Or they either intentionally misuse the word, right? So they would say woke or something, but to mean like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not woke. Like you're like a old guy who doesn't get it.
I'm talking about someone who would use like, Johnny, you scallywag. Like I tried so hard to pick a weird, obscure word.
Right.
Like if I called Andrew a carpetbagger or something, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God. Okay, that made me. I just watched Gone with the Wind. You guys ever seen Gone with the Wind? Have you actually seen it? I've never seen it.
I've seen it once.
It's on HBO now, and they do this. If you watch it on HBO Max, it was controversial for a while, but they kind of start with a message from a TCM host who comes out and says, "Hey, this movie is racist. It's really racist, but it's still considered this movie that's important. But just so you know, it's. I mean, I'm simplifying it, but that's basically the message. And then I had like just a twinge of like that reactionary straight white male, like, come on, is everything? Because I had never seen it. So I was like, is everything racist now? And then you watch the movie, you're like, holy shit. They're like these Confederate soldiers are like all gods, they're all great people, and the poor South, and then these like it's just the most racist thing I've ever seen. But they call people carpetbaggers. That's the big thing. They call people carpetbaggers if they're from the North. And then I watched this other movie with John Wayne that was on HBO, which is also super racist, called The Searchers. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But same thing. They would call people carpetbaggers. And I'm watching all these old movies, and I'm like, no wonder people are flying Confederate flags everywhere. They think it's cool because every movie that they ever watched growing up was like making the Confederacy like the heroes. They're all the good guys. And in this movie, The Searchers, there's one Union soldier, and he's an idiot. He comes in, he's like, oh, sorry guys, and all the Confederate guys are, oh, the Morin carpetbagger from the North, I don't know, as if the North didn't win the war. So take it easy, John Wayne. All right, that was it. Carpetbaggers set me off. Made me mad. Well, I don't know. That's so. Tyler, you feel supported overall, though. We were pretty good. I don't think you guys supported me very good, but you guys, you
guys are fantastic. You're like an emotional jockstrap. I feel
all right. We got a title.
Cradled in the security of your backup.
Maybe we should rename the podcast to Emotional Jockstrap, because the Cavalry has so many issues. First of all, everyone calls it the Cavalry, which has religious themes. And then also there's another podcast called the Cavalry that's like a Overwatch. It's like some computer game. It's about that. And it seems to be more popular than us. So we've run into a few hurdles. with the Cavalry. So we might be the emotional jockstrap going forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that. It's pretty catchy.
And our logo still fits. We can keep the same logo.
Yeah, keep the logo. That's no problem.
3 guys on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
One's a
Well,
statue.
anyway, Tyler, this is a stupid question, but you don't have anything to plug, do you? You're not going to be anywhere, but you might have stuff you do.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't really have any shows coming up except for some online stuff. I have been putting out a series of videos on YouTube called This Week in History. I took a brief pause over the holidays. I'm going to get back to that, but I just I look at all the events that happened for whatever that week is in history, and then I try to crack some funny make-em-ups about that week.
Definitely check that out.
Cool.
They're very funny. I've seen them. And follow Tyler on Tyler Boeh on all the stuff. And I don't know. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Leave a 5-star review, and we'll support you like always, as always.
I didn't check it this week, but I'm sure there's a mountain of comments for us to get to. We'll just have to get to them next week.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And we're gonna go skeet on our faces.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, cool, dude.
Cool, dude. Fresh. On an all new.
The Cavalry.
The Cavalry. All right, we're out of here. Bye.